The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host, the koala bear of Wall Street, as I'm known far and wide, at least on this show, David White. And again, we've got a interesting market out here. Kind of dropped off the, what about 115, something like that. Kind of dropped off the edge of the market. Nice little move down since we've been out there. And what else can we say about this market? Down, volume was good, but not anything out of this world. You know, basically, if we have less than 2 billion shares when we start the show, probably not a big volume day. And we are right at that number, 2 billion shares, as we start the show. Of course, we're off 4 points on the S&P cash at 1861, but we'd been up to 1875 earlier in the day as they decided to go ahead and push out some more stinky IPOs. We'll get into that in a minute. But it's everything. And as always, we like to start off the day with a little bit of history. Today in 1979, in a meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, the OPEC ministers declare that its members will raise the price of crude 9% in a single leap from $13.34 to $14.44, igniting another round of global inflation. Of course, probably the heydays of OPEC, they're getting less and less. And when people say, well, there's nothing we can do about Russia, I always think one thing, and that is if we would get rid of our severely retarded policies on energy and pretty much say we can go drill anywhere we need to get energy within reason, I think we could drop the prices of energy down and probably bankrupt Russia for a second time. The first time was them trying to keep up with us on arms. The second time could be lowering the price of energy, and they make, 85% of all their income from energy. I think we could probably bankrupt them again. But, probably no worse. Of course, just like the people have to live with that. But if you go back and look in Russian history, those folks have been attacking people and being attacked for the last 1,000 years. I don't know if many people know that in the Second World War, Stalin starved 3 million Ukrainians to death just because he didn't like them. So there's not a lot of love lost between most of Ukraine. There's basically the Russian-speaking areas of it down there in Crimea. But what else can you say? But can you imagine that crude one day going from $13.34 to $14.55? Seems quaint up here at $98 for crude. So we'll continue to take a look at it. We did bounce down on the indexes, but this has been about where buying has continued to come in over the last couple of times. We've tried to come down to lower levels. And, of course, we are at the 26th. We've got a couple more days before fund buying. It looks to me like they're not only going to hold this thing up for a couple of days, but my guess is they're going to hold this thing up into fund buying next week. And we may be still up in these areas mid-time next week. So it's going to be at least probably a waiting game to be patient and wait for the whites of their eyes, as they used to say. Of course, we were talking about the King IPO coming out. priced at $22.50. Been trading around $20 and $20 to $21 pretty much all day. So a lot of people saying not a successful IPO. But if you look at what happened in the last couple of years, talk about a One Note Johnny company, 95% of their business in the previous year came from one basic game. And even if you go and look at their diversification in the last 6 to 9 months, I think it's still upwards of 79%. Of course, this is very much like Zynga, and a lot of people are drawing the parallels to it. Of course, this is the company that does Candy Crush. And what can we say? It just continues to be one of these markets where just about anything, if they can get it out the door, they're going to shove it out the door. And I think part of holding this market up is trying to get these last few stinkers out the door before the market yells retreat. And a lot of these things can't get out the door. I'm seeing a lot of IPOs that didn't quite make it out several times before. They're still trying to push these things out the door. And a good indication that maybe this is as good as it gets. But I could see us still back up in this area in the next few days, maybe into mid-part next week, and only on the basis that they hold us up long enough to get fund buying to come in, and that holds it up for another few days while they distribute stock to those people that, of course, must buy in their 401ks. And, of course, every month I seem to talk about this. That is the last 2 days, first 3 days of the month, that about 80% of funds are contractually obligated to be 100% invested, whether the market's going up or the market's going down. So that 401 money is coming in one way or the other. And unless a lot of people get out and sell out of their investment vehicles, that money's going to come back in one more time. And, of course, the market's pretty good about marking it up and selling it to them at full pop retail instead of giving them a deal. And as we toy around here at 1860, could we fail at any time? Well, the answer is yes. I think problematically, though, being down 5 points and not seeing a huge volume increase throughout the day tells us that maybe they can hold us up for just a little longer and try to drive us nuts just a little bit more. But that's it. Other things we have here. Told you that probably ought to stay away from Bitcoin. Last night, the IRS, after the market closed, said that that it does not have legal tender status in any jurisdiction. You cannot use it to pay taxes. And, of course, I've always said that any currency that didn't have an army behind it that would kill you is probably not a currency I would want to own. But the unanswered question, which I'm trying to get solved today, is since this has been around since 2009, actually in business since 2010, what happens to those folks now that have got 4 years of buying and selling Bitcoins where it would have to be treated like a commodity? There is no long-term tax benefit to it. So if you made money, you're going to pay at the highest rate that you would if you traded a stock one day after you bought it. There is no long-term holding level. At least that's the initial discussion from the IRS. But every time you bought it and every time you sold it, wash rules would apply. So basically, you couldn't hold it unless you never used it for at least a year and probably 15 days to avoid any wash rule in the buying and selling of Bitcoins. But not to be deterred, more and more people in the West Coast are throwing more and more money at these Bitcoin Lite like entities. And someone's even bought a NASCAR sponsorship for one car at Talladega, which I think is coming up here in another month or so, maybe 2 months. And what can you say? It'll be interesting to see Doggy Coin out there on a race car for the races. Well, we're continuing to slide out here. I didn't see anything in the news that would bring this up. We're off 7 points on the S&P cash. Right now, volume getting up to 2.1 billion shares. Of course, next week we're going to go back to the same rhythm that we've had or have most of the year, and that is that the European markets will close at 11:30, not 12:30, as they have for the last couple of weeks, as their daylight savings time comes back in. So just be aware that we will have kind of a little bit different market interday out here. Of course, over in Europe, the France was up 9/10. Germany was up 1.2%, and the UK's FTSE, I think they were closed today for something, but I can't remember what it was. Spain, Portugal, all the rest of these up over 1%. Japan's Nikkei ticked up 4/10. Hong Kong, Hang Seng up 7/10, and the Shanghai Composite still the weakest of all three of those right now, at least for the last few days, up 0.2%. Also, of course, if you were watching the news last night, Facebook bought a company called Oculus Rift, which is a virtual 3D company that kind of, you put the goggles on, and they probably have the best technology, still years beyond, I think, anything being real good about it. For most people, it's just going to make them sick. But a lot of people trying to get into it. But we're still seeing some evidence that there are some new retail players out here because they're buying any stock that says Oculus in the title. We saw even for stock that doesn't move very much, Oculus Vision popped up this morning, and so did Oculus Innovation Sciences, which is a healthcare company. And it looks like there was nothing else out there other than the fact that Oculus was bought by Facebook, and people can't tell the difference between Oculus, the digital watermarking company, and the healthcare company, and the one that actually makes goggles and is not a public company at all. So we're still seeing a little bit of that. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We talked a great deal on the show about MCP. I've caught some fairly decent moves out of that over the years. Last night after the bell also, we continue to see that the China is having some problems with the WTO, World Trade Organization. Yesterday after the bell, they confirmed that China had lost a case on rare earth metals, and Beijing is basically been told that they will not be able to restrict the export of rare earth metals anymore. We'll talk about what that's going to mean in the future. Give me a call, 877-927-6648, or give me an email at path@tfnn.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the signal box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Hecht will be hosting his first paid workshop on TFNN, the Technomental Trading Method, which is taking place Friday, March 28th from noon till 3:30 Eastern Time. Relying on his decades of experience as a professional commodities trader for some of the largest and most well-respected firms in the business, Andy will be teaching for 3 full hours discussing the application of the technomentals he uses when trading commodities, futures, inter and intra-commodity spreads, commodity-related stocks, ETFs and ETNs, and related options, and much more. You'll receive an added bonus of a quick reference guide that Andy has put together for everyone that attends that breaks down the U.S. traded commodity-based ETF and ETN products available to you as a trader. The Technomental Trading Method, Friday, March 28th from noon till 3:30 Eastern Time. This workshop will be archived so that if you can't attend live, you can view it whenever you'd like on demand for 30 days. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we are back. It is another wonderful day here. Anyway, we were talking about rare earth companies and rare earth. Basically the only true way to play rare earths is MCP, Molycorp here in the United States. There are a few other companies out there, couple in Australia. They have all their production locked up, though, to go to Japan, so not going to be much of a difference out there in what happens there. What doesn't go to Japan is bought back up by China to support the prices. But a couple of smaller mines out there for rare earth minerals. The only other mines are here in the United States by Molycorp. They've been working on opening up yet another mine, getting the one that they have going. By the end of the year, they're going to be cash positive, and we'll probably get an opportunity to trade that one a little bit, but probably still just a bit out for what we have coming. So, look at that thing probably dancing around the $5 level for a while longer, but probably nothing happening new. But the question is what China's going to do on this. They're probably going to try to appeal it, but my guess is that if they continue to try to monkey with the supply of rare earth minerals, going to be a much bigger deal. But I think we're going to see a market that's a lot more linear than the almost EKG looking thing that we've had for a couple of years, as China's looked to actually game the system and be the OPEC of rare earth minerals. Still 90% of all rare earth minerals come from those mines up there in Mongolia. It's actually one giant, huge pit. And still 90% of them pretty much coming from there. Anyway, as I said, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can post a message in the den, or you can email me at path@tfnn.com. And we're going to get into some of the stocks out here that are moving and take a quick look at them if we get a chance. During the day, if I'm not mistaken, hang on just a second, get a few things organized out here. But I think it's DTV. Midday, they did come out and say that they are looking at a combination between DirecTV and Dish. And, of course, fairly decent moves in these stocks. We have Dish and DTV, DirecTV. So nice move out of here intraday. I didn't get a chance to look at Dish, but the merger. I'm just wondering, since they are only real competition to cable companies, whether or not the government will allow them to do it. But both Dish and DirecTV doing very well today, and some fairly big moves for a market that hadn't moved that far these days. One of the stocks I did like and still do, but wanted it to come back fairly severely. So I'd get an opportunity to buy it was Workday. We've talked about this one on the show several times, and I'm really hoping that we get a fairly decent pullback into that $75 range. But certainly we've gotten a decent one already. So we've gotten what we wanted. Had a huge move and sign of strength. We've got a high volume high out here at 116.74. So not a bad trading setup. Of course, we're down, hit just 35 cents under $90 this morning. And as we look at this, not a lot of volume back out here, but you do have some days with probably more volume down here about the 7th of January, and those days came in at about 88, 89 bucks, and probably would like to see at least back into that area, if not into the $85 area. Where we could see maybe the first chance to actually push some of this. Energy was not all that bad on the way down, but certainly you do have that high volume high out there at the 27th. Doesn't have to get tested, but a pretty good company. My guess is this is going to come back, consolidate for a while, and we're going to get another opportunity to take a run at this at 116.74. Probably a little overdone, like most of the stocks in the market. We're going to break. Turn email me at path@tfnn.com. We'll try to get to it before the end of the show, or post in the den, or give me a call at 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we're going to Marie in Erie, Pennsylvania. How are you doing today, Marie?
Oh, we're doing fine. Little cold, but it's going to get better.
I know. I had to turn my heat on last night. I was shocked. Get into this far.
In late March.
Huh?
At this time of the year, it should be
down here.
better.
Yeah, because it's been the air conditioning mostly. So,
yeah.
But we got down to 42 last night. But it's we all have our crosses to bear, don't we, Marie?
We were 7 this morning.
Yes, I know. Most of the time, I just call people up north and tell them, "Hang on, just a second. I got to turn my air conditioning off so I can hear you." Just to sit there and grind in that knife a little bit more. But anyway, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I had been. I knew you had followed Maxwell Technologies a number of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
still follow it, but just not much there. But go ahead.
Oh, and then it kind of fell out of bed, and I was wondering if this latest rally was worth anything.
Well, certainly if you took it, it was. But to me, it was kind of the sign of the top. This was all based on a rumor that they were going to be used by Tesla, and there's no announcements from Maxwell that I saw. And this thing had a nice double top on 1/3 the volume, less than 1/3 the volume, which pretty much puts a top in it from $16. I mean, these guys are in the technology that would revolutionary electric cars.
Right.
The problem is they just haven't come up with the product. They said that they were a couple years ago. It was a lie. All those people sold their stock and quit. New CEOs, new people in there. I imagine the same engineers are probably still there. But the problem is that until I get some kind of whisper that says that they are and have gotten, the technology works today. The problem is getting enough of it in a small enough space. The technical term's energy density.
Right.
Everything else works about and there's some, especially graphene, probably a good opportunity to make this. We've seen some other stuff, other people talk about it. It's just all I see is them building the same thing with their older technology, and I don't see any announcement where that new plant in Phoenix is building graphene-based supercapacitors with 4 times the energy density. And that's pretty much the thing. It's just nothing new out here. So when I saw this and I saw it move, it was basically moving with all these other, I'm going to just call them out-and-out frauds, all the fuel cell stocks and all the other biotechs that had nothing going on. And it's just a market, just mania.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if there was something there or not. And
no, there was a bunch of rumors, and that's that huge day that you saw up there at 1567, that Tesla was going to use it for all this stuff. And as the rumors go away, this thing's probably going to come back down to about $8, I would guess, unless they have some better technology. And, if it does come out, I'm sitting there watching it, but I looked everywhere to find out if anything had changed in the Phoenix plant that they were building new or anything else, and it just looks like more of the same. So, could they move higher on just selling more of what they have? The answer is yes. But this is $1,000 stock if they can get the energy density problem solved. So, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at a $5 or a $10 move in this thing. I think there's one of these 1,000, 2,000, 10,000% gainers if these guys get it right, because it's the only technology that's going to work long term. Maybe there's something else, another new technology comes out, but batteries, especially when you look at Tesla, if they just doubled the production of Tesla cars, there wouldn't be enough lithium to do it. So that whole thing's a scam. Okay. Electric cars would be wonderful, but you have to get past the whole part where you make all these lithium batteries that make more pollution than you solve by that, and I actually wrote about that in the Tech Insider on Friday. But there are some interesting ideas. I just don't see anybody saying that they've got the technology that actually gets this to the next level or doubles the power you could hold, even in lithium batteries. I mean, we're close. And if you don't drive very far, the technology works fairly well. Maxwell, of course, was making good money selling a lot of these supercapacitors to China's bus systems and train systems and a lot of the big government-sponsored, what do you call them? Just huge building and infrastructure deals, right? Mass transit, that kind of stuff. And, of course, they sold some of the tiny ones to people with hard drives, like Intel uses, has one on every one of their solid-state drives. They're just very tiny versions of the thing. I think they sell them for 50 cents or $1 a piece. So they're not going to make a lot of money out of that over time. The big thing would be if they could be, let's say, $5,000 or $7,000 of a brand new car for every car that went out the door with their technology. That's why I think they could be a $1,000 company. They just have to get that energy density. And a lot of people talking about finding it with graphene and some other new technologies. Just nobody said that they've got it yet. So I'm watching it in, literally we're probably going to see some kind of announcement, and it's going to be, you're going to have to be very fast buying it. Maybe it's going to be another company besides Maxwell. But whoever gets those supercapacitors working, it solves all the problems. If you could just sit on it forever,
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be a bad deal, but I'd want to buy it probably back at that $8 level.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Let it retrace, and
if probably not going to go to zero, and you have the possibility of the thing being $1,000 stock over time if their technology does work. So they've got a lot of patents in the field already. I just am a little gun shy from being lied to from the last time.
Right.
But what can you say?
Well, I wondered about it because I knew you were pretty high on it at one time.
I'm still high on the technology. It's just one step further. And if you read my Technology Insider, I talk a lot about order of magnitude. Mm-hmm. And that's normally when you see that term is when you know that something happened. So if they could make these current products work 10 times better, they're a $1,000 company. Yeah. So now it's all about molecules and chemistry, and a lot of that stuff is very hard. It isn't like you just flip a switch and the answer comes to you. It's a lot about figuring it out and then being able to build it for the right price and everything else. But I just don't see anything in here other than these people were able to run a huge short squeeze on this for a lot of people that were short and basically on a lot of rumors. So, if the market could really crater out here, I think we're probably going to see stocks like Tesla pull back. And, of course, this one's probably going to get 2 for 1 as Tesla pulls back. So just keep an eye on it. Same thing with fuel cell stocks.
Okay, so, thank you.
You bet. Thanks for the call.
Right.
And, again, you can be like Marie and call me at 877-927-6648, or you can email me at path@tfnn.com, or you can post in the den, which is eerily quiet today. Anyway, looking at other stocks, I didn't talk about Panera. Looks like their bread didn't have the same fluff in the last quarter. They came out with earnings. This thing has been in constant distribution for about the last year and a half as they keep pushing this thing up and then pushing the stock out. The numbers haven't appreciably gotten any better in Panera. I've tried to short it a couple of times, got my hand bit, but this thing is back pretty much to the high volume day of the 19th of February. That day you had 3.6 million shares, got 1.8 million shares today. So probably going to find at least some support like we're seeing in the broad markets out here today. When we look, let me update it here just to make sure. We just keep finding people stepping in right around this 1860 level and start buying. We're off 5 points, just a hair under 2.3 billion shares on the day, which means we're probably going to be maybe 3.3 billion shares by the end of the day, which is not going to be a huge move. Again, on the high side, I'd love to see the market break out with 5.5 billion, maybe even 5 billion shares to the upside to confirm that we're not just gasping at straws up here at the top of the market. I don't think we're going to get that. At the same time, I'd like to see the same kind of move down with monster volume to actually get it working well. So anyway, look forward to your calls if you can get it. Anyway, we're looking at Panera down. Volume not as much as it should be coming into that day of the 19th. And not all stocks down, but that one's kind of the worst of the bunch. Of the stocks actually moving up. I think this is the first retail mall retailer I've seen actually with a positive earnings report. I think a lot of people were looking for such horrible numbers from them that when it didn't come in, it got a nice short squeeze today. That's a 5 below. It is a company that sells under $5 items, a lot of things for parties, that kind of stuff, paperware. I've never been in one, but I read the description of it. But apparently the volume and sales, especially around Christmas, was fairly decent. They popped right up, filled the gap that they had when they came out with bad news on the 10th of January of this year. That day came down with a monster volume of about 5 million shares. So kind of interesting to see that we are actually doing better than that today and popping right back over that same gap that they had for a while. But could be interesting. We've got a lot of people moving. Oh, why? Is that right? Okay, you. Yoku, another one that's kind of popped up. Someone, let's see, who took the Tennescent, taking a 20% share of the company, was up a lot stronger earlier in the morning, rolled over like a lot of the stocks. One of the things that we do see out here is high volume compared to the previous low in this one, too. I don't think a lot of people are buying that. International Game Technology, they came out with their earnings disappointingly enough. And one of the things in the news I saw was that the couple of the casinos in Las Vegas are actually decreasing the payout at blackjack. If you thought it was a bad game before, an easy way to lose money, continues to be one that is rather tough. But some, I guess at least a few people think that they can worsen the odds for blackjack players and still continue to have some business. But it's hard for me to believe. Anyway, breaking the previous lows with higher volume, saying basically just on a free fall back from an earnings announcement or a pre-announcement on the 24th of January. Now this thing's coming back in and down even lower. So it'd be interesting. Did workday. Facebook, we talked a little bit about Facebook buying Oculus. And the part about that that gets me is that we talked a little bit about probably the advertising being a little bit of smoke and mirrors with Facebook. I continue to believe that, and I think this is long-term a $20, $25 company at best, maybe an $8 company, kind of a fad, much like Twitter. And I think we're going to see a lot of these companies coming out. Why they had a high stock price, they wanted to go out and use that, and they used it to buy that WhatsApp and, of course, Oculus Rift last night. I just don't see a lot of fits for this stuff. And my guess is that much like eBay was going south, probably the smartest thing was to use their money to buy something that's actually a faster horse. And we're pretty much seeing that in Facebook today. But volume didn't pick up extremely out here. And, of course, we're going into this gap. That gap started with 150 million shares on the 30th of January. And, about half that today. We'll be back in a minute. Still got plenty of time for you to email me at Path@TFNN or call at 877-927-6648.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Well, we had an email during the break, and it is from John. John wants to know about dust. I think he's long for the pullback here. And if you just go by the charts right now and the volume, pretty good indication that we're going to have a fairly big pullback. I always wondered whether or not this was the fifth wave in gold that was starting. I pretty much negated that. Of course, so we've got we're off 850 down to 1302.90 as we speak on gold, the current contract. But what we could see in dust would be a move, and I would be thinking somewhere around $40. There's a good confluence level with a gap, actually several gaps, right around that $40 level. And the energy off this bottom has been tremendous. And I think you're going to see, I think we're probably going to get a chance, maybe $12.75, maybe $12.50, maybe even back to where I want to buy it, which is $11.75. We could see a lot of movement on gold. And, of course, a lot of that is based on the dollar and what eventually happens there. But we're up 8 cents on the dollar index, barely holding that $80 level. But I think you've got a pretty good indication here that, even your first little mark here at $30.42 is just a 3.82 retracement. I think you can get probably somewhere between a 50 and the 618. Since you have confluence at that level right around 40, you'd have to take a hard look at being that as your target for the trade. Since I wasn't able to talk to you, I couldn't find out where you thought you were going to take your money anyway. But I think you got a good setup here and could get all of that 40. And I'm hoping you do, because maybe it even goes a little farther and I get that 1175 I've been waiting for a while. And that would be it. Other stocks of interest moving out here today. Garmin was upgraded to a buy. This thing's pretty much been parabolic. And the self-serving upgrade from Citigroup makes me think that we're probably fairly close to the top in this one. Another one that has a great indication of a level where support is probably going to be, that's going to be around $48 and maybe high 47s, low 48s. That's also the bottom of the gap where this thing did take off with energy on the 19th of February, but getting close. If we saw a reversal signal in this one tomorrow, maybe another gap up and a close lower yet again, maybe some candlesticks like that, could see a nice little move back down here to this $48 level. With about a minute left in the show, going to look, and we always get the idea that this market's going to move, acts very weak. We sell down, and of course, people start coming in at that 1860 level and start buying again. Today's no different. We're off about 3 points on the S&P cash now. Volume has not picked up. 2.36 billion shares on the consolidated tape, which, like I said, is going to probably put us out at about 3.3 billion, maybe at the highest 3.5 billion for today. But my guess is it'll be 3.3, 3.2 by the end of the day, and that is going to be probably too light to break out those lows. We start into fund buying on Friday and go through next Wednesday. We could see a nice sideways move. We're going to get a lot of opportunity to push out more IPOs and sell the highs, or near the highs, to all those people in 401ks. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.